Memorial Day is a time to remember those Americans who died in the nation's wars. The two current wars are in Iraq and Afghanistan. More than 4,000 U.S. military have died in the Iraq War, more than 1,000 in Afghanistan. Tonight we talk with a veteran of the Iraq War, and joining us now is Clay Gordon. Clay served in the U.S. Navy from 1993 to 1998. He was a member of the Virginia National Guard from 1999 to 2008, and he was deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and to Iraq. Clay, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Now, on this Memorial Day, what are your thoughts?
Well, I just like to think about the soldiers, sailors, and airmen that gave the ultimate sacrifice of their lives for our country and our freedom that we enjoy every day.
Okay. Are there certain ways that you commemorate Memorial Day?
Yes, there is. Actually, my wife's grandfather and I go to the Summit Church of the Brethren Cemetery and put flags out on the veterans that have passed away every Memorial Day weekend.
So you've already did that?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about what you did in Iraq.
We did convoy security, basically moving of commodities, diesel fuel, and things of that nature through the Al-Anbar Province, the areas of Fallujah, Ramadi, Baghdad, primarily in Iraq.
Okay. And that was kind of a hot spot, at least as far as fighting several years ago. What did you encounter in your service?
We were very fortunate. We only had one encounter our whole time as skirmish-wise. So most of the time it was very peaceful, very kind of dull trips through the desert.
And the one encounter you did have, can you tell us a little bit about that?
We believe, we don't know, that it was just fuel smugglers that we encountered, that we just came up upon going through the middle of the desert, kind of in the middle of nowhere where you're not expecting much to happen. And once we got there, the convoy in front of us had already driven through their position, and they followed them some, and then they also encountered us as well with machine gun fire. I believe they shot a few RPGs at the convoy, but none at our actual vehicle, just machine gun fire is what we encountered.
Did you all take any casualties?
Not ourselves.
Injuries from that?
Not us.
Okay. Toughest thing about when you served in Iraq?
I'd say the toughest thing is that you never really have any time off. You're always there. You can't go home to your wife and children, your family and friends. You don't get away. They're always, you're there in Iraq, so you never just get to go home and get downtime, so to speak, really.
Do you feel our intervention there has been a good thing?
Absolutely. I believe we have done some good things. We've helped the infrastructure of the country, with the things such as water supply and clean sewage and everything that they really didn't have much of before, that we've now been able to provide, as well as giving them an opportunity to form their own government now, that may not be exactly what we would see as a perfect government, but it's what they want, and I think that's a great opportunity for them.
Do you think democracy will work in Iraq?
Personally, I'm not an expert in politics, but I myself don't believe that the actual form of representative democracy like we have will work there. I think they have less of they don't have as much of an emphasis on the central government that we have. They would be more like going to war for, like, say, the state of Virginia than, for their whole nation is what they would understand. They're more of a family and community-oriented, tighter-knit group than what we are here in the United States. Their own little area they have, from, just what I noticed, is what they're more concerned with than the larger central government picture.
You were telling me that there are a lot of they were always saying whether the sheiks in a certain area were supportive of the Americans, right?
Yeah. It's I guess I didn't know exactly a lot about we didn't learn a lot about their culture over there per se, but you could tell in an area when they had a sheik, which I guess is kind of like a mayor of a town, but he was more tribal, maybe, like a chief of an area, that would be supportive. Then we knew that area was going to be pretty smooth sailing. If the sheik was upset in that area, then we may have to look out, be a little more aware, because there may be more IEDs or whatnot out. So.
Interesting. All right, Clay Gordon, a veteran of the Iraq War, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for your service.
Thanks for having me.
All right, now let's send it to Mel in Stanton.